So earlier today we got a here we go for Police Street and confirmation that Will Fish is leaving Manchester United, but another youngster is set to leave Manchester United in Maxi, who's now having his medical to leave the club, which will be a big miss. Ugarte, PSG actually made a loan offer to Manchester United for Ugarte to try and get that deal done. And other lines, what is the latest on Ugarte? Because some interesting insights coming out on that deal. Manchester United have new plans for the left-back situation. Laurie Whitwell did this detailed report say we might not be signing a left-back this summer, and that's because they have a big plan for next summer. What is that? What is the roundup of just news that we covered earlier today that is relevant? Bruno made some comments about why he stayed at United and the big plan for Lenny Euro. Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your late night 10-minute transfer roundup, where I round up all the latest transfer news that's come out this evening and some of the relevant news from reliable sources I summed up earlier today into a 10-minute video. So if you guys don't have time to catch my live shows, or you just like 10-minute short videos that get straight to the point, this is the place to be. Every evening throughout the transfer window, we try and do these 10-minute roundups. So please do hit that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new, if it sounds like your thing. Let's talk about the Ugarte news. PSG have offered Manchester United the chance to sign Manuel Ugarte on a season-long loan with an obligation to buy. United would prefer to buy Ugarte, but there remains a gap in valuation of around 10 million euros. There is growing optimism an agreement will be struck, and that PSG made a new offer to Man United about doing a loan deal. So PSG apparently have made the offer to United about doing a loan deal for Ugarte because there's 10 million euro valuation, where United is saying we will give you, like 42 million pounds for him, and PSG is saying we want 50 million pounds, and United is saying, well, we sold Di Maria after one season for 15 million loss to you, but you're refusing to sell Ugarte, who you told to leave in May to find a new club you found a replacement for an 8 million loss. It makes no sense. You should make an 8 million loss on him because he didn't play the back end of last season. You told him he wasn't in the plans. You've told him to leave. You've bought his replacement. Why do you need to make profit or break even on a guy that actually you don't need and you don't want because it's United? So then PSG are saying we're not going to lower the fee. United are saying, well, we're not going to hire the fee. And PSG is saying, now let's do a loan deal. I think United deep down want to get him for 42 million pounds and saying just accept our 42 million offer, stop effing about to try and get 50 million for him. I don't think Ineos want to pay 50 million for him. I think PSG are trying it on. Ugarte is forcing the move. If they don't sell him, he's just going to be an unhappy bunny and he's going to lower value anyway because João Neves is going to play. It's one of those where PSG probably want a loan deal so they can get more money out of United, maybe with the obligation to buy, or they want a good obligation to buy. Who knows? But PSG obviously looking to sell Ugarte. They've made an offer to United about the loan. Like, that came from PSG, which shows they're keen to sell the player, and United are keen to buy the player, but United said we're only going to buy him for the right price, and PSG are thinking, well, Burge is gone now, they're desperate. It's one of those where it could drag on to the end of the window. Jason Burt said that this could drag on to deadline day. It could be like Amrabat. But I think as much as I like Ugarte, if we cave and spend 50 million, it's not a good look after spending the whole window to do it. I think you get to deadline day and PSG will have set 42 million for the deal, because otherwise they're just going to have a very unhappy Ugarte. And if we don't sign Ugarte, we're not in the best position. But at least Casemiro's been good the last 2 games, where we can say, look, Casemiro's looking good. La-di-da. Continuing on. So one player I didn't want to leave Manchester United is Maxi. He's a very good midfielder, but it looks like he is on the way out, and it said that he will undergo his medical in the coming days to sign his contract at Warsaw. He is joining for a low fee, but United will have a high resale percentage. I hope we put a buyback clause on it as well. We're selling our youngsters for very low price, which I'm not a big fan of, but at least we're putting high sell-on clauses and buyback clauses in some of them. I do think the one thing I want to see from Ineos, and I mentioned this in my live stream earlier, is I want to see Ineos implement stuff into contracts. Not contracts. I want to see Ineos eventually implement us selling our youngsters for a bit more. You see what Chelsea sell youngsters for, City sell youngsters for. I hope that Manchester United in future will be able to get a bit more money for their young academy players. But at least we're having buyback clauses and sell-on clauses and stuff as well. So what is United's left-back plan? What is United's plan for the defence? So, despite Man United signing Euro and De Ligt, there still has been talk about Branthwaite to United and maybe Everton needing to sell. Now, Jad Branthwaite does remain on Manchester United's radar, and they could revisit the deal over the next 12 months if he doesn't leave for another club. I think we could go back in for Branthwaite next year, particularly if Everton get relegated, to try and get him on the cheap, but I think it would depend on Maguire and Lindelof, who could both leave as free agents. I think United would like to get money from Maguire because they paid 80 million for him, and then maybe Branthwaite comes in, and Branthwaite, Yoro, De Ligt, and Martin as his 4 very good centre-back options to have. It kind of sounds greedy, but then Man City have got Stones, Diaz, Akanji, Ake, Guardiola that can play centre-back. Arsenal have got Gabriel Saliba, Calafiore and Ben White. They could all play centre-back, even Yuri and Timber. It seems that the big clubs do have a mass amount of centre-backs, and I can see why United want that. A left-back, it said, for the left-back position, United want to see how this year goes and make a permanent purchase next year with an admiration for Miros Kerkez of Bournemouth. I also know we like Aït-Nouri, we like Bradley Locker. There's a couple of players we like there. I think the way United see it is Martinez can play left back, Mazraoui can play left back, Delo can play left back. Luke Shaw is expected back in September, but who knows for sure. Malacia is expected back in October. They don't want to spend big on the left back. They don't want to bring someone in on loan. I can understand bringing someone in on loan till Christmas because of Shaw and Malacia being unreliable, Mazraoui also being injury prone. But United seem to be like, we're not going to bring in the left back. They do really rate Harry Amas, but I think next year they were looking at a long-term replacement for Luke Shaw because of his injury. But it'll be one to watch. I think we'll probably know towards the end of the season who it could be, if I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. But I do think, as much as I like Luke Shaw, as much as I rate Luke Shaw with his injuries, we cannot rely on him, and we will need a left back. And I do think it's a massive risk going into the season without a left back as well, because of the injuries we have, and Mazraoui potentially being injury prone as well. I do think it's a risk, but Harry Amas is there, and Ten Hag said he could be ready in a couple of months, and hopefully Harry Amas will be. He could save us some money. You never know. So what has been said on Scott McTominay? Napoli are interested in Scott McTominay if they can sign him with an obligation to buy. Manchester United would prefer to sell McTominay for 30 million this summer to help finance the move for Ugarte, is what's been said by the Mail. We know that even if we don't sell McTominay, we will buy Ugarte. That's what's been said. It was also said that Napoli is not giving up on Scott McTominay. Talks are ongoing and frequent and very positive. Napoli has noted McTominay's desire to play in Serie A, which is a priority for Conte. The transfer fee could be around 20 million euros plus more in bonuses, which is 20 million euros. Thing is, Padella has been spot on with everything he said. He said that McTominay wants Napoli, not Fulham. That's now been confirmed by the Athletic that McTominay wants Napoli, not Fulham. He's happy to stay at United, only leave United for a big offer like Napoli. 20 million euros is a joke because that's 18 million pounds. I know that we want 30 million pounds from McTominay, but it's probably accept 25 million. So maybe 20 million with 5, taking it to add-ons. Fulham bidded 20 million plus 5 in add-ons, or 21 million plus 4 in add-ons for McTominay. We want at least 25 million for that deal to be done. Conte is obviously pushing Napoli to do that. It could be one to watch. Fulham have got Sander Berge. They're not going to get McTominay now. McTominay rejected Fulham. Either McTominay stays or he goes to Napoli. But the chances of McTominay going to Napoli is either 1, on them selling off Osimhen so they have the funds, or 2, them coughing up the funds out of nowhere as well. So let's get into the next bit of news. So I want to give you a roundup of the Laurie Whitwell's report that I covered earlier today. Zane_Sedex did a roundup of that report on Twitter. So this is what Laurie Whitwell had mentioned earlier and what we covered in our live show. Man United decided against pursuing a left back because Mazraoui and Delo could play there. It was said, Ugarte, sources believe an agreement is possible as the deadline approaches and George Mendes is working on it. We also covered in my live show earlier that now João Felix to Chelsea is done. George Mendes is putting all his eggs into the Ugarte to United baskets, looking to speed up the deal, find a breakthrough. And with PSG offering to do a loan deal now, there's an expectation it could be a breakthrough because PSG, while they're not lowering the fee, are willing to negotiate. After 4 signings, United's focus is now sales. They signed Mazraoui, De Ligt, Yoro, Xerxes. They obviously want Ugarte in, but the focus is sales. As you can tell, Will Fish, Police Street, Maxi set to go, Mesbury set to go, Ericsson set to go. In my live show earlier today, I revealed that Ericsson to Ajax for 5 million is one to watch, and the Mesbury to Burnley is one to watch as well. So we're very much focused on exits. Sancho and McTominay are more expensive exits that are definitely one to watch. Sancho has interest from Chelsea, Juventus, and PSG. McTominay has interest from Napoli. It was also said that the Napoli sporting director flew to England to meet McTominay, and progress is being made according to the very credible Laurie Whitwell. He said no agreement on personal terms, even though that's been reported by other sources. And he said Fulham moved on because Scott was waiting for other clubs, cough, cough, Napoli, and that Galatasaray made an attractive offer of personal terms. Fenerbahce and Everton also were interested in McTominay, but they had limited funds. Man United have been considering Berge, but did not progress initial talks as they are looking at alternative targets as well, aka Ugarte. Whitwell also said major sales required to sign an attacker, and that would mean Police Street and Sancho would have to be sold for us to bring an attacker, and we're not progressing on the Ivan Toney deal due to the fee and wages, which are the issue, even though we like him. Ericsson, in regards to that, it said that Ajax are interested. There's a 5 million price tag, but Ajax needs sales, so there's no expectation of a move for him. And that Lindelof and Mejbri both could leave Manchester United depending on offers, but Lindelof is injured and it doesn't look like Lindelof has any interest in leaving United. Laurie Whitwell also said that Sancho's 40 million price tag may be an issue to find a club to meet his wages, and some at Man United sense that Chelsea could make an approach, and that Man United feel that Saudi Arabian clubs could present an outlet for sales, although Sancho himself won't go to Saudi, is what's been said by Whitwell. So that is the roundup of the news. Now, lastly, I want to get into Bruno's comments in his interview earlier today, because I love Bruno Fernandez, and I thought these were some great comments about, him staying at United, because there was rumours of him leaving. Bruno said, "The club made an effort for me to stay. They knew it was my first choice. It's also my family's choice because we feel at home here. The club knew that I wanted to fight with the best teams. They knew that the team had to improve, which is the case. I didn't need to be promised that we were going to win the championship, but we at least had to be in a competitive team." Totally fair from Bruno. If he wanted to leave because he's nearing 30 to win major trophies, you could understand it, because he's a good enough player to do that. He said on changes at the club, "I'm not going to say that the people who were here before weren't good enough, because everyone has always given their all to bring success to this club. Since I've been here, I've learned from each and every one of them." He said everyone who comes in here must know the history of the club. The past is always present in the future. There is no one without the other. He said the club has had good times, bad times. That's the culture of United. But he obviously ultimately wanted to stay at United, and he wants to win trophies at United, which hopefully he does. Guys, please hit the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. I hope you enjoyed today's 10-minute roundup. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.